Welcome to Sportsbet Daily at oddsmarket.com. NFL Week 5. Forget about Week 4. It never existed. Seattle go 4-1 with a last-minute missed field goal by the Rams. Going into this weekend, 13 teams are parity 2-2, which tells you a lot about this league. How many of them 2-2s are going to go forward and will end up in the playoff picture? Joined today by the Sports Keg CEO, Jace, and Spread Astaire. Gentlemen, how are we? And how much are we looking forward to this weekend?
What's up, buddy? I'm doing better than the Rams.
Wow, that was a bad beat, Spread, wasn't it?
Yep, I'm doing better than the Seattle minus 1.5 backers as well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there was just so many things that went wrong. I mean, I watched the game, I had an interest. I went with the unders initially. I'm thinking it's going to be like 10-6 at the half. Missed field goal, goes up the other end. I'm like, what is going on here? You know, I'm thinking, I knew my fate at halftime because I knew it was going to be a complete shootout. But
you were on the under, Flash?
I went on the under originally, and I came out square because I backed Seattle. So, hey, that means my luck's in. My luck must be in. But I was still telling myself with 15, 16 seconds to go with 2 timeouts that we'd go down the other end. Russell Wilson would get the job done. One thing I noticed last night, the Rams secondary. It's an all-star secondary. They were nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, Marcus Peters does that a lot. He'll get burned a lot, and then he'll come back and make some big plays. But last night he wasn't able to make the big plays to make up for the fact that, you know, his coverage all night was pretty much lacking.
Yeah, Jace, I look at Marcus Peters, and obviously he is numero uno in his position on his day. But a couple of times he showed the wide receiver inside, and I'm thinking, I thought it was always show them on the outside, less room, push them out of bounds or bring them down. But a couple of times he favoured and blocked the outside, and it just left a running lane for him to go by. But anyway, listen, that's fish and chip paper last night. Let's get some money in our pockets. I'm going to start with you, Jace. Atlanta at Houston. Atlanta +5, the line's 49. Where'd you like?
I'm still a believer in this Houston Texans team. They laid an egg on me against the Panthers. I thought it was a home run spot against Carolina, and the offense looked terrible, man. Now, granted, Carolina does have a top 5 defense right now, and they've played better than anyone thought that they would. But in my mind, that's still not an excuse for how high I am on this Texans squad. So the defense played well for Houston last week. That's one bright takeaway from that game. As far as Atlanta, to me, they are what I thought they would be so far, a slightly below average football team. The analytics bear that out for them. I'm willing to take another shot back in Houston at home this week, Flash. And, you know, if they burn me, they burn me. But I'm not ready to give up on them.
Yeah, I'm a little bit like that with another team. I'm actually going to go with the unders here on the basis that I think Houston may be too strong for Atlanta, who have been poor. I see Atlanta only getting involved in games when it's a gunslinger, it's a end-to-end, it's post out, throw as far as you can, and someone come up with an exceptional play. Spread, just on a quick one, I know it's not one of your games. Falcons against Houston?
I have no problems. I think Jason's got a good spot. Fading Atlanta on the road has traditionally been profitable. Matt Ryan looks to be a completely different quarterback at home in the Dome, but when he's on the road, he's been below average. And so, 5's a lot, but I would take Houston there. I don't want to touch Atlanta at all right now. And, I mentioned their defense on shows past, but they've been bit by injuries again. I think they're going to have problems defending. Deshaun Watson needs to get right, and I think this is a great game for him to do it.
Good. As long as he's under 49 points, I'm happy with that. a nice little 31-12 or 31-15 will do me lovely. Let's move on. Cardinals go to the Bengals. Cardinals are getting +3, and Under 47.5 is the line. Spread, just give me a little bit. I know it's not one of your chosen ones, but I'm liking the unders.
Really? I hadn't looked at the total on that game. That game's really tough for me. Cincinnati, if you take out that week one game where they looked pretty good against Seattle, they've been horrible. They've been taking, to the level of Miami and so, but Arizona's not really that good either. If I have to choose, I'm taking the +3 because when you have two bad teams, you just take the points.
Okay. Jace, under 47.5. Dalton can't get protected. 8 sacks last week. And, I think they were averaging 4. They were averaging 4 sacks before that. I'm thinking it's offensive line. They're collecting sacks like Father Christmas.
You saw what that Bengals team did to me on Monday night. You had a front row seat. This Bengals team is so bad, man. I was on them Monday night. They looked abysmal. They couldn't do anything. The defense looks lost. The offense looks equally bad. Are the Cardinals a good team? No, they're not. But the angle that I would look to attack in this game, which I've done successfully in the last couple Cardinals games, is the Cardinals have the fastest snap rate in professional football right now. So what does that do? It wears down an opponent in the second half of games. It's a big part of the reason why they struggle to score in the first half, but Arizona manages to put points on the board in the second half. So for people that are watching, I would be looking to get on Cincinnati in the first half and the Cardinals in the second half. If anybody's looking for an angle and they actually want to bet this game, that's what I would suggest.
Okay, you think my 47.5 is about the right number? I'm going under.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Okay,
definitely.
let's go. I'm really interested in this next one. We're going to go Vikings -5 at the Giants. Under 45.5 I got. Now 43.5. 2 points I beat the spread by. I'm having the Vikings show up and they put this young boy under immense pressure. Spread?
Yeah, I'm on the Vikings -5 here. I think this is a great get right game for Kirk Cousins. I think that he's going to have a lot of incentive to pour it on. We saw all the reports coming out of Minnesota this week. It's just weird. Have you ever seen a quarterback go on a radio show and apologize to his receiver for missing open throws? So it's kind of unprecedented there, but he needs to get right, and this Giants defense is the team to do it. I don't really think that they're that good. I think that they'll basically just avoid Janarius Jenkins, so whoever Jenkins is on, they'll go to the opposite with Diggs and Thielen. But I think he needs to get them both involved, and he needs to make them feel like they're part of this team. And so I expect them, even if they get ahead, to keep trying to throw the ball and work. And, they just need to get some chemistry there. Obviously, Dalvin Cook will be good. I think this will be a nice defense for him. And then you pointed out perfectly, this will be by far the best defense that Daniel Jones has faced so far. Rookie quarterbacks usually struggle against top defenses, and I expect that to see that again this Sunday.
Jace, you like that spot? Under 45.5, now 43.5, and the Vikings laying 5.
Yeah, I think the fact that you beat the market by 2 points, obviously you got to be happy there. I lean the under with you. When I sat down to look at the game, Flash, I thought for sure that I would be on the Vikings, right? But I decided in the end to stay off the game. I changed my mind. Daniel Jones, it will be the best defense that he's seen by far, but he's played the position well enough, I think, to hang within 5.5 points of the Vikings in a stadium that will be as loud as it's been in the last 7 years, easily, okay? Barkley's not officially been ruled out, I don't think. There's a tiny chance maybe that'll play. I doubt that he plays, though. There is a little turmoil, like Spread was just talking about, in the locker room between Thielen and Diggs. I thought that Kirk Cousins would have played better than he has. They didn't beat Chicago with a backup quarterback, which I thought that they would. So if the line was 3, even 3.5, I would have been on the Vikings. But in the end, I decided to pass.
Okay, cracking game coming up here. Green Bay plus 3.5 against Dallas. Under 47, now 46.5. I look at this, Green Bay, well, we were all happy with them 2 weeks ago. Run defense was up to scratch. Eagles come to town, run through them like a hot knife through butter. Now, we know that Dallas is all about Zeke Elliott and getting that run game going. We've had a lot of prep here for Green Bay. Are they going to stop the run, Jace?
If there is one unit in this league that you and I have praised on this show, it's been the Green Bay secondary this year, right?
Yeah.
And the 2018 secondary rears its head last week. I think the spot warrants the Dallas Cowboys. I know both teams are going to come in off a loss, but the Cowboys at home are home. I don't know why, but I just trust the Cowboys right now more than this Packers team. The defense was exposed for the first time this season last week against the Eagles. We saw that hideous 2018 secondary. And if they show up against Dallas, if that bad secondary from last week shows up against Dallas, I think Dallas wins the game going away. I trust the Dallas defense right now more to contain Green Bay than I do Green Bay to contain Zeke Elliott and Dak Prescott. So I'm going to wait. I'm praying this game goes to an even 3. It's at 3.5 right now. If it does, I will be on Dallas.
Okay, spread. I look at this and think Green Bay had so much time to prepare, stop the run, get the ball in Prescott's hands, and let's see what Garrett comes up with when you take away his home game. Also, Aaron Rodgers, 3-0 in this stadium.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is 3-0 in the stadium, and this is my favorite game this week. And here's the way that I'm looking at this game. Obviously, the problem in the Green Bay game was they weren't able to stop the run. I mean, that was just some old school football. They lined up, they ran the ball. But let's look at how they did it. What Philadelphia likes to do is they have multiple weapons. They're interchangeable between their slot and their running back. And what they like to do is they like to use motion and formations to get the matchup they want. And a lot of times they were able to get their tight ends, Ertz and Goddard, matched up against Green Bay safety Darnell Savage. And that made them look really rough in the secondary because the safety and the linebackers were keen so much on the tight ends because the tight ends were so explosive and they were moving around. They weren't really able to focus on the run. I think Dallas is much more straightforward in what they want to do. They're very open in the fact that they run the offense through Ezekiel Elliott and Amari Cooper. You'll be able to put Jair Alexander on there. You shut down Cooper. We saw against New Orleans Saints when Lattimore shut down Cooper what Dak looks like without his top target. If Jair Alexander is able to do that, that gives Green Bay a big advantage. Two more problems that we have looking for Dallas is this is a game is the injury report. You know, we have to come on here and make our picks here on Friday, but for the people watching, check this injury report. There's huge injury reports that we need to look at. Number one, we already know that left tackle Tyron Smith is out for Dallas. Now, the right tackle might be out as well. And right guard, Zach Martin has also been on the injury report. I expect him to play, but keep an eye on that. Now, from the Green Bay side, the injuries that I'm looking at are Beluga, the tackle, because he would be matched up with DeMarcus Lawrence, and also cornerback Kevin King, because Green Bay secondary, talk about the 2018 secondary, without Kevin King in there, that's what you get. But when you get King and Alexander there on the same time, Green Bay can be pretty fearsome. So if I'm backing Green Bay, which I've already put my bet down, I'm already going. I'm hoping Kevin King's going to play. But if you're waiting, that's a big one to look for. Look for Kevin King. And also let's see how Dallas does with his beat-up offensive line. They might have if the right tackle misses, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, I think it's Connor Williams. If he misses, then what they're going to have to do is they're going to move their left guard over to right tackle, and then they'll move their backup, who is a Samoan name that I can't pronounce either. They'll move him in. But with all that movement on the line, Dallas's line has usually been a strength for the team, and if they're just go down from being the top line in the league to just an average line, that's going to be huge for Green Bay's defense to get back on track.
Yeah, I mean, I was favouring the Green Bay with getting the points because he's had so much time to prep them and get them back to how they were 2 weeks ago. But undoubtedly, cracking game, gone under 47 myself in my pick 6. Really looking forward to it. Not pressed any buttons yet on the outrights. Let's go. Chicago -5 at Oakland. The line's 40.5 spread.
Okay, I like two spots in this game. And this is weird because you usually don't give the points with the under, but that's how confident I am that the Chicago defense will be able to shut down Oakland and John Gruden. Now, John Gruden had a really nice matchup last week because Indy, first of all, they were missing a player in each of their lines of defense. So they were missing their top defensive lineman. They missed their top linebacker, Darius Leonard, and they're missing their top secondary player in Malik Hooker. So they had a depleted squad to begin with, and they like to sit and cover too, and Gruden was able to eat that apart. Chicago's not going to do that at all. Khalil Mack, who's usually very quiet and diplomatic, has been very vocal about the fact that he is looking forward to this game. He wants to prove what a mistake Oakland made by letting him go. Roquan Smith missed last week, and the defense didn't miss a beat. But with him being back, that doesn't even, that makes it even better. So I think that Oakland's going to have a lot of problems scoring. I think that once Chicago gets ahead, they're in London. They're just going to get back out of there, get back to the States. They're going to run the ball. I'm taking Chicago -5 and Oakland and under 40.5.
They double play. Jace, do you like this game?
Yeah, I agree with everything Spread said. To make it quick, I mean, the Raiders are an undisciplined football team. They're in the bottom third of the league in offense and defense. It's hard for me to back them, period, right now. And my biggest concern with the Chicago Bears is their quarterback, who won't be playing. Yeah. I like Chase Daniels more than I like Mitch Trubisky. He's one of the best backups in the league. So I agree completely. Chicago all the way.
Okay, well, here's one of our leading lights from last week. The Bucs. +3 going to the Saints. 45.5 was the mark. It's now, 45.5 is the mark now. It was 47.5. It's now moving towards the unders, Jace. Saints just giving up the 3.
I'm still not a believer in Jameis Winston at all. A broken clock is right twice a day, and he had a good game. Congratulations. It only took him 3 years. Bridgewater has shown me more that I can trust in the last 3 weeks than Winston has shown me in 3 years. The Saints defense looked really good against that Cowboys team. And if they come with the same effort here against Tampa Bay, I think that they win this game going away. So I'm going to take a shot with the Saints with the small number at home.
Well, I'm with you. I've gone Saints -3. It's my only pick so far this week where I haven't gone with the total. I've just gone with the outrights. I like the Saints in this spot. I think that they get back. I mean, obviously, too many question marks about someone who 2 years ago was the up-and-coming kid, So let's give Bridgewater a chance. There's so many weapons. They beat the Bucs for me. Spread, I know it's not one of yours. What do you think?
I'm actually on the other side of this game. I like Tampa. I'm the opposite of you guys. I'm not really sold on Bridgewater. At this point of their careers, I'd actually rather have Winston. I think that Bruce Arians has been a great help to him. And, he has so many more weapons. You got Mike Evans, Godwin, Ronald Jones Jr. has been doing well. The Saints, Tampa did well last year when they rolled into to New Orleans. They were able to get a victory back then. I think they're coming hot. I think that Bruce Arians has them under the right mindset, and I think that they won last week, but that could have easily gone the other way. And I think that we have a different narrative of Bridgewater if Dallas is able to score a little more. He wasn't able to put it in the end zone at all. Now, granted, I don't think the Buccaneers defense is as good as the Rams, but I think they're pretty close. And I really think that Tampa's going to put on a nice display offensively down there in the Dome. I'm taking the points in a divisional matchup.
Well, as I'm on the Saints, all I heard there was... Sounds
about right. I talk pretty fast.
Exactly. So listen, we're going to move on. Jags +3.5 at the Panthers spread. Do you like this spot?
Yeah, so I like the under here. Jace mentioned before, the Panthers have a great defense. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a fantastic defense as well. Gardner Minshew is very fun to watch. He's a great story, but he's not necessarily putting up a lot of points, and this is going to be the toughest defense he's faced so far. And I expect to see a lot of running. I expect to see a heavy dose of Fournette. I expect to see a heavy dose of McCaffrey. That's going to keep the ball rolling. Could be very close. I didn't pick a side yet. If I did it would be a heart bet just because I love Minshew and I want him to win. I'd grab the 3.5 for some fun. But as far as a smart investment, I'm taking the under 40 here. I think that Fournette and McCaffrey chew up that clock and keep the points from going on the board.
Jace, Jags, Panthers?
Yeah, I think I have to agree with the spread here. Kyle Allen, I guess he's been a revelation for the Panthers team, but he has fumbled a ridiculous amount of times in 2 games. Another backup quarterback in Gardner Minshew, who I agree, I'm rooting for the kid. I like him a lot. He's played better than I guess anyone expected that he would, being thrust into the role. Both these teams have had serviceable offenses, but the difference has been the defense. Carolina comes in with a top 5 defense through 4 weeks of the year. And the Jags, who were projected to be the number 1 defense in the league in a bunch of analytics, are outside the top 20. So they have fallen short of expectations. If I was leaning to a side, it would probably be Carolina here. But I think the best play, I would have to agree with spread, is the under.
Okay. It's a game I don't really like, to be honest. I think that if the Jags turn up and the Panthers, I suppose the under is the obvious one, but then you don't know what you're going to get from the Panthers. Now and again, they stick up 30 odd, and Cam Newton going. It's the biggest blessing in disguise I think Carolina have seen in many a year. Okay, Monday night game. Browns, 49ers. I'm not going to declare what I'm doing, where I'm at. I'm involved in the game. I have a 2-unit play in the game. Jace,
Oh, wow.
Jace, come on.
Oh, boy.
Come on, I want to
right.
be with you. I want to be with you so much.
All right. Did the Browns look good against the Ravens? Yes, they did. But they did that against the team, okay, that has given up more yards per play than anybody in football this year. The 49ers team, I believe, is the real deal. The analytics have them as a top 5 team in offense and defense. This is a different team from a few years ago. And what I like most about this team is it has not exclusively been because of Jimmy Garoppolo. As a matter of fact, even though I love him as quarterback, he's been an average quarterback through the first month of the year. The 49ers team and their success has been a complete team effort. So they're second in net yards per play in the league. The defense has been phenomenal this year. They've only allowed 18 points a game, and I have to see more from the Browns before I can call them legitimate. They just beat the most overrated team, I believe, in football in Baltimore, so it's 49ers for me. You better be on the 49ers, Flash, because if I'm against you on another Monday night, bro, I'm going to snap out. So what are you on? What are you on?
I'll tell you in a minute. Spread.
All right, I'm on the opposite side here. I agree with what he says, and the big concern I have when I'm taking the Browns +4 is I'm worried that their offensive line is not going to travel, and the 49ers definitely have a good defensive line. I think that's been the key to their success. They've been able to get pressure, which has relieved the secondary. They don't have to cover as long, and that's been a great boon to that defense. The defenses look great. And here's my issue here with the 49ers. Jace pointed out the analytics. And the thing is, they've run those analytics up against a combined 3 pretty poor teams. The teams they've beaten are a combined 3-9. They've beaten Tampa, they've beaten Cincinnati, and they've beaten Pittsburgh, who I don't rate any of those teams very high, and I think that this is going to be a different level of team. The key for the Browns here to win is going to be the defense. I think the Browns have a lot of talent on the defensive end. They're going to need to pressure Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're going to need to stop the run. But I think that they have the talent to do that. Looking for a big game from Myles Garrett. Hopefully the secondary can get under control. And Baker Mayfield has so many weapons to work with. It seemed like they were finally beginning to gel against Baltimore. And if he can get the ball out quick and nullify the pass rush of the San Francisco 49ers, I'm grabbing the points here. +4 primetime, I love it. I love taking points in a primetime game.
Okay, well, I've gone under 46.5, 2-unit play. I think that.
Oh, okay.
I think that the 49ers. I think they'll will just make sure that the Browns they struggle. I think the Browns could stop the 49ers, but for me, I've got to be with the 49ers all the way. I'm waiting for the market to drop, though. I'm waiting for the -3.
Let's go, Flash.
I'm waiting for the -3, maybe even the 3.5. But I think Coach shuts down Mayfield. No running game. Defense keeps it tight. under 46.5. I'm really, really confident that we're not going to see a complete shootout. So, roll on Monday night. But I won't be changing my mind. It'll be, and obviously we'll have some props on there as well. I might even go under Baker Mayfield yardage. We'll have to see where that's at.
Sorry, spread. He's been against me the last 2 weeks, and he's killed me 2 weeks in a row. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad to see you guys back on the same side.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the same side. That makes television boring, spread. Is there any other game, Jason, you want to mention?
I went through mine. That's actually, we went through every game that I picked on the pick six. Tampa was my pick six game that I didn't send you.
Jace, anything from you?
No, not right now.
All right. Well, I'll see you Monday night. Have a great weekend, gentlemen. Spread, keep up the great work, mate. May all your bets be winners, apart from where you've opposed me.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Flash.
Cheers, boys. You take care.
Good night, gentlemen.
Later, Jace. Later, Flash.
Cheers, boys.
Bye, bud.
That was the Sports Keg CEO and Spread Astaire going through NFL Week 5. Remember, 13 teams are 2-2. Something's got to give. Until next week, take care.